centerpiece of your campaign is, as I'm sure everyone in this room knows, is economic insecurity. One of the things you've talked about is providing every family in this country with $1,000 every month to help close the gap, if you will, to a certain extent. Talk to me a little bit about the correlation between economic insecurity and gun violence as you see it.
I think that there's this whole series of events that leads to gun violence, and we need to attack every link in the chain. And my flagship proposal that you've all, well, if you've heard anything about me, you know I want to give every American $1,000 a month. And there are many reasons why I'm certain we should do this, but it even impacts the causes, the underlying root causes of gun violence. Because if you look at the series of events that lead to gun violence, what are we talking about? We're talking about the composition and stress levels in homes, in the family. You're talking about what's happening in our school systems. Whether when people show up to schools, one of my boys is on the autism spectrum, so he's neurologically atypical. And we have many, many kids who are showing up to schools that are not actually made to accommodate them. Or people of different neurological profiles. You have one teacher for 25 or 30 kids. And we know that more than 96% of the eventual shooters are boys. So we have boys who are neurologically atypical or have ADHD showing up to school systems that are not designed to accommodate them. And they become marginalized. They sometimes see themselves as deeply alienated. And in most all those cases, obviously they're not going to become a shooter. But in a rare, tragic case, they do become a shooter. So if you have $1,000 a month in the hands of every adult in every family, that actually amplifies the level of resources that are available to make that child stronger, both in the home and when they get to school. It amplifies the level of resources available in the school system to be able to accommodate kids of different learning profiles. The end of this chain, obviously the ones we need to focus on because they're the most direct, which is access to the firearm and then the decision to use the firearm. And those are things we need to attack, but I believe we need to try and attack the root causes of this as well, because the fact is, even if we get common sense gun laws across the finish line, which after we break the stranglehold of the NRA on our legislature, I believe we can do. But then we're going to wake up the next morning and we know there's still going to be gun violence in our communities. We're going to be struggling with this for generations, unfortunately. And so we need to try and attack the root causes as well as the last links in the chain.